And to you as well, thank you very much for making yourself available at this early hour of the morning. And I know that we're taking you away from your very busy schedule as well at the office. But thank you very much for being with us. Thank you so much for that, and it's much appreciated. I'm just going to introduce you for a moment to the rest of our staff, and then I'll hand over to you. At the moment, we have online roughly about 300 staff members that are in this Zoom webinar. Please do not be overwhelmed by that. They all are looking forward to listening to your experiences. Just for the benefit of our staff, Mariam is a long-standing client of the bank. She's based in Pretoria, and she's a client of our Gauteng corporate office. Mariam is a chartered accountant by profession. She's married to Hussein, who is a dentist by profession, but nonetheless, very successful entrepreneurs, both of them. And Mariam is a very dynamic entrepreneur. She's a health enthusiast. I think many of our staff would have followed her on her posts as well. She's a woman business leader. And last year, we also invited Mariam to join our managers in our branch managers conference, and she shared some very insightful messages through to us at that point in time. Mariam, we really do appreciate you making yourself available to share some of your experiences. We did share with the staff the article that you had written on the visit that you had from Mr. COVID. A very hard-hitting, I must admit, but a real life experience. And we thought it's necessary and appropriate for you to share with us some of that experience that you and your family had to go through. Despite all the measures that you had taken, it still found its way into your lives. So please do proceed. We're going to give you 10 minutes, please, Mariam, to share that experience with us. And we hand you the mic at this point in time. Thank you, Mariam.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for that lovely introduction. It's my first time I'm having a Zoom webinar with 300 people, so forgive me if I get a little bit nervous. I wrote the article, and I asked Mohammed to ask each of you to read it. I hope you have. The reason I wrote it was to share our experience and to share our story, because I wanted to make people more aware of, in fact, this lockdown and what this virus is all about. I was one of the naysayers, and I can't say that I believed in all the conspiracy theories, but I thought everybody was overreacting. And that is, in fact, why I wrote the article when I went through it to share with everybody. I'm the most perfect, organized, pedantic, OCD person. So when Hussein found me praying Salah in the opposite direction, you must know how out of mind and body one is. And given that, I can say I still had no symptoms. So I thought I was 100% fine. But if you're praying Salah backwards, you must know something's wrong with you, but you don't realize it. So that's just to start. I wanted you to just picture the scenario of when we were in the midst of it and how different this is to a flu. And when you're in it, what you find yourself faced with. So it's, in essence, we have no visitors. You can't go out for grocery shopping. Our Indian foods need all these different spices, which now all of a sudden you can't get. You can't get fresh milk. So we were housebound with nobody around us. My situation was different in that I have drivers, nannies, 2 domestic helpers. So my life was kind of going on. But if you can imagine, if I didn't have that, and if you're a household that's not have access to a little bit of extra luxuries, you can't get food. And if you're dead sick, the way my husband was and my kids, the 3 of them were quite sick. So if I was also that sick, I don't know who would have cooked. Okay, my mom was sending food to the door and running away, fine. So we also have that. But if you picture a situation of where you're dead sick, you can't eat, you can't cook, you can't look after your kids. The one day I was praying upside down on the couch, feeling a bit unwell. And I got a message from my daughter, my 17-year-old, Mom, I'm sick. 5 minutes later, my son from his bedroom messaged, Mom, I need help. And my baby was just crying upstairs. So that overwhelming feeling of, oh my God. And Hussein was dead man walking, the dentist. So he was a non-entity. And as much as he tried to help, he just sat there looking out, zoned out. So in that situation, it's different from the normal flu in that it's everybody. I wanted to also say that used me as a health enthusiast, and I truly am. I can say our family, there's nobody healthier than our family. But when this virus was in my body particularly, I could feel that there's a foreign body inside me. Though I had no symptoms, though I can't still taste at the moment, you can feel that there is a foreign body living in you, working its way through your lungs And if I was an underlying sick person, I can assure you we would have gotten really sick. Hussein got sick, but then he recovered fast. So the healthy lifestyle definitely played a part. So the first thing I wanted to focus on was that you are alone in this. Your family, as much as they love you, will all stay away from you like the plague. The second thing I want to say is I followed all rules. I wore the mask everywhere. We sanitized our hands, not extra, but I did what was supposed to do, the basics. And I thought, I'm so healthy and I'm wearing a mask, it's not going to catch me. And not only did it catch me, it caught my entire household, my baby, my husband. 80% of our office staff had it because we thought keeping the window open in the office is insane. So we kept the windows closed and we got comfortable. And that's the third point I wanted to focus on, was that we got very relaxed. When I visited my parents, my granny, my 85-year-old granny, I kissed her, I took off my mask, we visited, we socialized. That was what my irresponsible way of thinking was all about. We're not going to catch it. We're totally immune to it. It's not a rich man's virus. It's everybody else besides us virus. So we socialized, we hugged, we prayed Tarawih together in Ramadan. I'm so embarrassed to say that now, but we really did. Not at all thinking that if one of us had it, how it would spread. And that is, I think, what happened was one person somewhere along the line had my crazy way of thinking, brought it into the family, probably me. I kissed everybody. My family is a family of kissers. I kiss my son so much that he gets so shy. But I passed it that way, coughing and kissing. And thinking I'm so fit and going out for a run, I got it only because I'm coughing only because I went for a run, because I'm so fit, not because I'm actually walking around with the virus. And I could have gone to my granny that day, just Allah saved her and me. I was able to visit her, but I was infected at the time. I would have kissed her. So this way of thinking that it's not going to catch us is totally irresponsible. And that is why I took the stigma and I wrote that article so that everybody could learn from what I had went through, so we can save the elders and the sickly in our family. Today I'm back and I look great. I feel great. I look normal. I'm recovered, but I'm healthy. But most people don't have the healthy way of lifestyle that I do. And most people are going to suffer. And then one day, Hussein was really, really ill. And I thought I'm going to have to send him to hospital. So I started phoning in my family doctors just to ask, okay, if I need oxygen. Fortunately, a lot of our friends had bought oxygen machines, but we didn't need it. But what I did find out is all the hospitals were full. Everybody said, so I said, but I've got medical aid. Yeah, that doesn't matter. You've got medical aid. There's no beds for your husband should he so need one. Please phone around and organize an oxygen machine if he needs. Alhamdulillah, he turned that night for the better. But that panic of hospitals are full, I need a rich friend who was crazy enough to buy an oxygen machine and keep it, was really, really overwhelming at that moment. Again, Allah saved us. But that is in fact why I wrote that article. I wanted everybody to realize that this visiting, and it's not going to catch us. And if you look at me, I mean, we look prim and proper. I didn't think it was going to get into our home, you know. COVID came all the way from Wuhan in China into my house address, right? It found its way right in. And it took me a couple of days to sit and ponder of how did we do this? And then I realized the small things that we took for granted. I want to say 2-3 more things. They are quite selfish in our way of thinking. So you know how we think. It's our life before everybody else. The other thing that was different was why my whole family was positive is I didn't just test myself. We were all feeling a bit unwell. I said, let's all of us go. Let's just know together. Whereas a lot of other people will take one test, see how it goes, take another. I just hit it, whole family. And okay, to lo and my behold, whole family was positive. You guys are still my first and foremost banker, but she's been in isolation and lockdown from day one, March 21st, she never left the house. She even had her groceries brought to her car. So she was a hardcore self-isolator. And every month I would laugh at her and she would say, I'm still at home, I'm working in my garden, I'm fine, I'm not leaving. And then sadly, she looked after her mom, who was 82. Her mom died in her sleep, not of COVID, she lived with her. She was one. Anyway, her mom passed away in her sleep. They were there, she was sad. And 8 family members, the closest family members, came to pay their respects to their mom, her brothers and their wives, kids. So 8 came to her house. She said they wore the mask full time because she was paranoid. But her husband and her brother hugged. and her brother was positive, and her husband became positive. And then she was positive with one hug. And that wasn't only the hug. She said when they stopped to have tea, they had coffee, she said, they took off their masks for the coffee. They were only together for an hour. They had a cup of coffee. They spoke of their mother. They reminisced. They hugged only once, the one hug between the two guys. And 7 of the 8 are positive. And I would have laughed at that had I not been through this experience. And I would have said, oh my God, everybody is just so crazy. It doesn't pass like that. Because she had messaged me that her mom passed away, and she had found my article online, and she said, I just want to say I'm sorry, and I'm also isolating. I'm the only one so far that's not showing symptoms, but this is what happened. And I thought it appropriate to bring this to you guys' attention now, because this is what the bankers that have been self-isolating, it's happening to them too. It happened to me, a super healthy person. So learn from my article, and please be careful, because we are so inherently ill with our unhealthy food that your family, you are going to watch your family suffer with you not being able to do anything about it. And I'm going to end with that. I hope I had some meaningful insights.
Shukran so much for that, Mariam. I hope Mohammed and Mariam is still online.
I'm online.
Gee, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Mariam. Very, very insightful. I think that experience that you shared with us is so common with all of us. And that's how we all started. We were extremely complacent. It's not going to come to us. And I think firstly, it started with us as a country, to be quite honest. When this hit, in China and perhaps spread to Europe. And I remember in the early days when people were talking about this, we only had one incident, and people are saying, why are you being so paranoid? It's not going to hit us and all that kind of thing. And there we go. It hit the country, it hit our communities, hit our families, our employees, and really, irrespective of where you are in life, irrespective of what is your health condition, irrespective of what religion that you belong to, irrespective of what race that you are, the COVID virus does not have any discrimination whatsoever. And I think what you shared with us this morning is a true experience and example of that particular issue. But once again, thank you very much, Mariam, for sharing that experience with us. I'm sure it will resonate with all of our staff, and I'm sure that it will probably change our attitude, if it has not already, towards taking this very, very seriously. Thank you so much. Our best wishes to you and to your family, and I hope that they all do recover, inshallah.